keynote speaker is David Armstrong Fink, Administrator of the Federal Railroad Administration. Formerly president of Pan Am Railways, Administrator Fink led transformative efforts in modernizing operations and advancing safety standards. His leadership in implementing positive train control significantly enhanced operational reliability and reduced rail accidents. Please join me in welcoming Administrator Fink to the stage.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Washington. It's my first year here, and this is my first cherry blossom season. Our way over in the car, the radio did say we are at peak cherry blossom, delivered to you on time, just like your country and our country's railroads. So welcome for you on that. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me today to join. It's a pleasure to provide an update about the Trump administration's rail priorities and FRA's role in supporting freight and passenger rail. First, I want to acknowledge many of these folks I've just met. Paul I just met. I found out that we're both Penn Staters. We both lived in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and if my dad wasn't transferred with the railroad, I would have gone to the same high school that Paul went to in Neshaminy. So nice to meet you, Paul. Of course, JITTI Chairman Shikuri, a Japanese Ambassador Yamada, Vice Minister Terada, and other dignitaries present here. And I want to mention two that I've just really gotten to know in my new role, Jano and Roger. They don't need any introduction, but Ryan from MBTA. We proved that we can mix freight and passengers and run both of them on time. So I've worked with Ryan for 20 years before I came down here. FRA is proud to have a long-standing relationship with our Japanese counterparts. For many years, FRA leadership and subject matter experts have participated in annual rail safety meetings with the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport, and Tourism to share best practices in rail safety in addition to a variety of collaborative opportunities to exchange information with Japan Railways. To start off, as many of you know, FRA has a dual mandate: to ensure safety in the railroad industry and to support the development of infrastructure that underpins a modern, efficient rail network. Over the course of FRA's existence, freight rail safety record has been on a positive trajectory for both train accidents and employee on-duty casualties. To accomplish and accelerate this trend, we are pushing forward on several fronts. First, we are aggressively pursuing new technologies that improve rail safety, efficiency, and reliability for workers, passengers, and communities alike. The private sector has been developing state-of-the-art technology to make a safe system even safer. I am committed to ensuring that FRA is a partner in advancing safety innovation instead of being an obstacle. Most recently, that includes successful advancing Class 1 railroads' use of automated track inspection and using real-time data analytics to prevent accidents and increase efficiency. We also need to modernize our regulations to better align with the needs of modern industry. For example, last June, FRA issued 57 deregulatory actions that will update, rescind, or amend burdensome regulations to align with acceptable safe railroading practices in the 21st century. We are building a business-friendly environment that encourages private investment and modernization while holding safety as our highest value. Similarly, we must continue to reform the way environmental reviews are undertaken. This administration has been clear: it should not take years or decades to advance rail projects. Another way I want to ensure FRA is focused on safety and efficiency is through our grant programs. I know firsthand how the Consolidated Rail Infrastructure and Safety Improvements (CRISI) program can support critical rail safety projects. We will continue to issue notices of funding opportunities for our very popular competitive grant programs like CRISI, the Crossing Program, and the newly redefined National Railroad Partnership Program. Although freight is a high priority, we must not forget about our nation's intercity passenger rail network. Last year, I joined Secretary Duffy and others for the launch of Amtrak's new Acela train sets, and subsequently I helped preview the new Aero train sets, which will make their debut in the Pacific Northwest before being deployed on the Northeast Corridor and nationwide. The increased reliability of these next-generation trains will also significantly enhance capacity on the Northeast Corridor and elsewhere. While we can't approach the success of Japanese Shinkansen trains and networks, we are making strides. Secretary Duffy has established two rail priorities for this year: New York's Penn Station Transformation Project and the revitalization of Washington Union Station. FRA is advancing early activities to renovate and modernize the station, increase concourse capacity and access, enable safer and a more efficient station operations, and expand passenger services to deliver a world-class passenger rail experience, which is now referred to as the New York Penn Transformation. These early activities include procurement of a public-private P3 master developer, which will be announced this summer. Revitalizing Washington Union Station is a top priority for the U.S. Department of Transportation. The Department and FRA are working closely with Amtrak and the Union Station Redevelopment Corporation, USRC, first to repair and then to expand this key national asset. To facilitate the station's revitalization, the Department, FRA, USRC, and Amtrak agreed to amending an existing cooperative agreement that governs station operations. This amendment allows Amtrak to focus on its rail operations by designating USRC as the station's operator, with the goal of increasing revenue potential and reinvesting such revenues back into the station. The governance, operational, and capital improvements to Union Station required by this agreement will enhance the value of the station for all the parties, enable a more realistic and rescoped station expansion project, improve station functionality and safety, and enhance railroad operations. Finally, with respect to accessibility, FRA funded a multi-year research study to produce universally accessible design guidelines for the next generation of passenger cars. This research has developed recommendations that expands and enhances the current DOT regulations for accessibility on rail vehicles. The recommendations increased accessibility for a modern and larger powered wheeled mobility device. This increases the population of wheeled mobility devices that can be used and served on passenger rail. Now on to the topic of safety. We are in the process of reconstituting the Railroad Safety Advisory Committee by soliciting members. Once complete, we will reconvene RSAC to work on key regulatory initiatives. Second, we are vastly expanding our safety oversight of railroad bridges. As announced last September, FRA was approached by several state partners interested in helping to ensure compliance with bridge safety standards. FRA is transitioning its approach to bridge safety from a traditional inspection-focused model to a comprehensive systemic oversight and audit framework. To support this shift, we have implemented a multimodal bridge inspection familiarization program covering timber, steel, concrete, and substructures. Third, a major goal of mine is to ensure that FRA has enough safety inspectors out in the field so our nation's railroads are able to operate smoothly. In 2025, our inspectors did 5% more inspections than they did in 2024, and I expect us to have also have more inspections in 2026 than we did in 2025. To date, nearly all field personnel have completed the virtually instructor-led bridge familiarization training. This initiative not only reinforces our internal standards, but also extends to state partners, leveraging their resources to improve national rail network reliability. Next, we continue to advance highway, rail, grade crossing safety, and trespass prevention initiatives to address the two leading causes of rail-related deaths. This is a very tough area for us. All of our other safety metrics have been headed in a right direction. Trespasser issues and grade crossing issues have not, and we really have to redouble our efforts on that, and that's going to be one of the things that I really work on while I'm administrator. In April, we will convene the 2026 National Highway Rail Grade Crossing Safety Conference in Atlanta, bringing together diverse stakeholders to discuss best practices and new approaches to addressing these persistent challenges. Finally, we'll continue our special emphasis on programs like the Switching Operation Fatalities Analysis, SOFA, working group, and our Fatality Analysis of Maintenance of Way Employees and Signalmen, FAMES committee. As we look to the months ahead, FRA is carefully monitoring developments associated with the next surface transportation reauthorization. We stand ready to work with Congress to ensure that there is a robust rail title in the legislation to continue our critical work on safety, development, and innovation. FRA welcomes input from all stakeholders on the next multi-year authorization, including APTA. I'm proud to lead the FRA as we continue strengthening our bilateral relations between the United States and Japan. Thanks again for allowing me to address you. I look forward to working with you in the months and years to come.